Welcome back. So before we jump into Python, let me take you through 4 important concepts related to learning to help you set up the right motivations and mindsets and help you succeed in the course. And hopefully this will help you not with just learning data science, but with anything you want to learn in life. These 4 concepts are growth mindset, grit, learning how to learn, and finally we will close off with building habits. So in this video, we will go through the first 2 concepts, and you can learn more about the last 2 concepts in another video. All right, so let's get started with growth mindset. This is my favorite concept. So do you believe that data scientists are born or are they made? What about CEOs or even your favorite NBA players? So Stanford professor Dr. Dweck became interested in students' attitudes about failure. She noticed that some students rebounded very quickly, while others were upset for a very long time, sometimes about the smallest setbacks. So after studying the behavior of thousands of students, Dr. Dweck coined the terms fixed mindset and growth mindset to describe the underlying beliefs people have about learning and intelligence. When students believe they can get smarter, they understand that effort makes them stronger. Therefore, they put in extra time and effort, and that leads to higher achievement. What makes the growth mindset so awesome is instead of chasing for results and a hunger for approval, you're focused on learning and not failures. So oftentimes in situations where you're not accomplishing something as quickly as you want, people with growth mindsets tend to believe that they're actually learning in the process and they don't see those situations as failures. So how does this apply to you? We know that you already have the growth mindset because you believe you can improve in Python by learning with this program. But how can we foster this over time? So one quick tip I can share is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. So while the outcome is not repeatable, the process definitely is. So remember this when you're facing some challenges in the course, when you're trying to understand the logic or the syntax of Python, to not be too frustrated if you don't get the answers right away. Next, let's talk about grit. So more than IQ or aptitude, grit is a better predictor of success. But what is grit? So one definition I really like is from Dr. Angela Duckworth, another Angela, not me. So Dr. Duckworth says that grit is perseverance and passion for long-term goals. So that means you're not just persevering, but you're also excited about what you're doing. So the good news is that grit is both a trade and a skill. So if you stack this concept based on what we talked about on growth mindset, you'll know that you can actually cultivate and grow your grit. So that's pretty cool, and that's the good news, but how are we going to do it? So based on our interaction with students, we've come up with 3 tips that can help you grow your grit. Okay, so tip number 1 is to figure out what it is that you want and why do you even want to learn Python. That seems like a very basic question, but it's actually quite important. If you deeply reflect on why you're trying to learn this, why you're spending time doing this, time you can be doing other things, that will really help you stay motivated. And different things work for different people. Some people put up a quote or some sort of motivational poster on where they work. Some people set a reminder in their calendar. Different things might work for you, but the number 1 thing is to remind yourself why you're doing this. So the second tip is to prime your passion. So that's just a really nice way of saying get excited about what you're doing. And the best way to do that is to visualize something you're really interested in and how can Python help you with that or help you do it better. So we've had students who used their Python skills to explore Twitter text from celebrities or to predict box office hits. So maybe you're interested in the NBA or Mobile Legend, League of Legends. What are those things? Then you can think about doing a project using your Python skills, analyzing data from the NBA, for instance. And we will do our best to try to make the learning experience as exciting and fun for you as possible. Okay, so finally, the third tip is to make time. So if this is important to you, you will schedule time to do it. It's that simple. And remember, you can't build grit if you're distracted all the time with everything that's happening around you. To recap, we talked about building growth mindset and grit, and we gave you 4 tips on how to do that. So the first one was to focus on the process and not just the outcome. The second one was to figure out what you want and actually why. The third was to prime your passion and get excited about what you're doing. And finally, to make the time for learning. So when you're ready, move on to the next video where we talk about learning habits.